Heat is building this weekend and political pressure is building in Wellington. Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into the forecast, a quick political update. For those of you who are watching the NIWA Met Service double up and the Commerce Commission investigation into that, there is a fantastic podcast out today by The Detail. Please Google it, have a listen to it. You'll find it on the Stuff website, RNZ and Newsroom as well. And this is all about why NIWA Met Service is doubling up. And the fact is, no one seems to be able to answer that question in government. Why do we have this double up? Why is so much tax money being wasted in this area? So please do listen to it. It's called The Detail, and that podcast is out now. We've tweeted it and it's on our Facebook page as well. Now let's get into the weather. Thank you for letting me just mention that. Overall across the country at the moment, it is a little bit windier. We've got this southwesterly breeze. It's blowing around the upper part of New Zealand, and we've also got a developing westerly down here, and that should be your friend because it's been a bit cold this week around Southland. This is the beginning of a warmer phase of weather coming your way. So on Friday, the last of the southerlies, and then it turns northwest by the end of the day and things start to warm up. That's the good news. You've got a better Friday coming and drier as well. There are a couple of showers around on Friday, just one or two here and there, mostly the eastern side of the North Island. Then they clear away by evening, and it's still a little bit windy around Auckland. That southwest flow coming through, very normal for this time of the year. As we get in towards the weekend, Saturday looks pretty good. High pressure is rolling on in. There is still a southerly breeze around the country. It'll be southwest in some areas, a little more southerly in others. Generally speaking though, it is a warm breeze because it's coming out of Australia and the subtropics. So it's like a fake southerly. Donald Trump would love that. So high pressure rolling in, just a couple of showers out over to the east. They are clearing away. Saturday looks warm to hot. Remember, even though this is not your normal hot wind direction, it is coming out of hot areas. So we are likely to see those temperatures lifting up to the mid to late 20s, and some of you this weekend will be getting into the 30s. Here is Sunday's setup. Again, very similar, highs in the same place, subtropical winds going into Australia, coming down and over our mountains and ranges. So it's sort of a double whammy of warmth. That will help push temperatures up into the North Island as well. And remember, don't be fooled by the sou'wester. It is a hot sou'wester, depending on where you are. Over the hills, over the ranges, inland areas, that's where the heat will be. Coastal areas though, places like Auckland and Wellington and Dunedin, you're not going to be getting the heat quite as much. And unfortunately, that's a big chunk of the population. About half of the country lives in those centres. So, not everyone will be feeling the heat this weekend, but it will be warmer than it has been. Let's get into next week. No real changes. Monday, the high moves in a bit closer. Still got those same warm to hot winds coming down. And our final map for Tuesday, it does show a change. We've got a very weak cold front moving up the west coast. On the southern side of it, it gets a little bit cooler. Your temperatures do drop. It's not wintry, so don't worry, but it is a little bit cooler than the lovely warm few days ahead you've got coming up. By the way, the last thing before I go, and we'll be putting a story up at Weather Watch today about this, we're getting a little bit concerned about how dry it's getting. We're early in the season. We didn't get a lot of rain this year in some regions. I know for some of you it felt like it rained non-stop, but to be honest with you, if you're measuring the rain, you probably noticed you're in a deficit in many parts of the country. Not all, but many parts. So the North Island, with high pressure and another big high behind it, there's a good chance we're going into a very dry spell of weather. And on top of that, you've still got the spring winds, which dry things out further. So just letting you know, we are going into a drying out phase right now, and we might not be getting any sort of significant rain for at least another week or two, or even longer than that. That is all from me on that note. Gosh, that sounded a bit dark. Cheer up, we've got warm weather coming this weekend. And like I say, we're not completely dry. There is some wet weather still in the forecast, but it does lean drier than average. We'll see you again tomorrow with the very latest.